And then there was a guy who came all the way from Omaha, Nebraska, and he slaughtered them all.
Oh my God, Nebraska?
I know, it's scary, isn't it?
Could have been worse. I mean, could have been Chicago.
Wait, what?
Oh my God, he's here!
You ready to talk some movies, Brennan?
Yeah, okay.
Well, let's go! Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth!
Hi, welcome to the Corrupted Youth Podcast. My name is Dan.
I'm Brennan.
I'm the guest, Cort.
Whoa!
Holy crap, I'm sitting in your house.
He's in the building.
The killer. The calls are coming from inside the house.
We're a father and son and guest podcast
Trio.
Trio.
that covers the latest blockbusters, classic genre films, and the schlockiest of golden age VHS rental store flicks in what?
Spoiler. Heavy. Fashion.
That's right. And we are in the midst of Summer Slasher Camp, our fifth Summer Slasher Camp. I'm not sure when this is going to happen in the timeline because we've been busy and are not holding ourselves to any type of schedule.
Oh, it's nice to be able to do. I'm just now getting to that place in my own podcast.
Yeah, so we have Cort here. And for those who don't know, Cort is from Cinema Psyops.
I am?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
you are.
Yes, I am. Yeah. The 10 years of my life are now down the drain because we stopped doing consecutive releases. I'm currently on a hiatus, which is why I came up to visit. I finally had enough time to actually make the drive.
Well, normally what we've done in the past is just have suggestions from the Dongle Den on Facebook, but we've shut that down because,
Facebook.
yeah.
You don't need to say anything other than it's Facebook.
Yeah.
That's why it got shut down.
And on top of that, so our listeners, you, the Dongles, who were in the Dongle Den, we would open it up to suggestions for what movies we would cover during Summer Slasher Camp because we're lazy. And Cort, you were like the person.
The guy.
You had the most suggestions for any movies and everything. And so you've won you won a t-shirt one year?
Yeah. I wore that t-shirt until it fell apart because it was a TeePublic t-shirt and the seams gave out. It was my driving shirt anytime my wife and I went on vacation because it was a light color. It was the second year Summer Slasher Camp. I really like that design and I miss it.
Well, you can get another one and I'm sure the quality is just fine.
Well, I actually, after you were on my show, I did end up buying one of the dog men you have to sing out of a cave, and that's what I wore to drive up here.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
I decided not to be that guy and like wear the shirt of the podcast that I'm going to be recording while I'm recording it at least. But I did, one of my suggestions was Just Before Dawn, and that's the shirt I'm wearing right now. Is these guys can attest if they don't want to be jerks. But yeah, that was one of my favorite episodes that you guys did when you actually covered Just Before Dawn, because you're one of the few people that actually liked it as much as I did once they saw it. So I was really, really happy. And I actually, the nerd that I am, I went back and listened to all of your Summer Slasher Camps before I drove up here. So I could actually remember and comment on anything if you guys brought up previous stuff from other movies that you covered. And that was the one that stood out to me, was when you guys actually ended up covering Just Before Dawn. And I just wanted to mention that. And that's
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a gorgeous looking movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually found another company released a Blu-ray version of that from the copy that I had gotten for you guys, or let you guys be able to watch a copy of it, and it was an even better print of the extended version where they actually cleaned up the lines a little bit. I think it was Code Red was the first one that released it, and then the guy who runs Code Red's brother runs like Scorpion releasings, and he got a better print that he released a few years later on Blu-ray. And so now that Just Before Dawn, the copy that you guys had watched, I think I ended up giving to somebody else after I bought this new one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's getting that well-deserved love, you know.
Yeah. It's a really rare film that like a lot of people don't really talk about in the slasher world, and it gets really kind of ignored. And I heard somebody talking about it on a podcast at some point, and I just gave it a shot based on that glowing review because someone had said that was like their favorite slasher film. And then it led me down a whole hole of looking for like these rare ones that I haven't seen before, and That's why I suggested as many of the ones that I suggested to you guys, because it was the ones that I've been looking for that was off the beaten track. It's perfect, you know, that's not Jason, it's not Freddy, it's something different. It's these one-offs that people don't really know as much about. Like The Prowler is another perfect example. Not a lot of people really cover that.
Yeah, and we covered that one with Pete from Good Beer, Bad Movie Night, and we actually went to see Pete to record that one, and that's why you're here, because
I was jealous that he got to win. I got all the movie picks, but he got to visit.
Yeah. That was crazy.
So I was like, you know what? I'm coming to you guys.
Yeah.
We're going to rectify this.
Yeah, and that was our thing, is like, well, we have to record with Cort because he's made all these suggestions, and like, damn it, like, he needs to be on this.
Even Pete, I think, during that recording, I remember when I re-listened to it, he's like, he really should have been on this.
Yeah. We had a great time though.
Yeah,
he's an awesome dude.
Yeah,
and
it seems like he'd be a great host. And it's really nice of you to mount his head on the wall in your house after you killed him. Oh, right.
No, cut that out. Cut that out.
Pete's still alive. That's not totally an AI that Dan's been generated to cover up his crimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, we've got one. We're going to have two. But you got to record this episode first.
Yeah. I'll that's weird. This THC soda that you put in my hands awfully does taste like Rohypnol a little bit, so I guess I am going to die shortly. I just want to point out that it's legally derived hemp soda that they were able to purchase through a beer distributor, so the due diligence is upon the business they bought it from. My lawyers have advised me to say that.
That's right. And I'm just drinking a beer.
Normie.
Oh yeah. So this year we're doing our own suggestions. So each person is picking a movie. I did In a Violent Nature. Brennan, at the time of this recording, we have not done your movie yet. And Cort, tell us about the movie you picked.
What movie did I pick again? Oh, right. Final Girls. Yeah. This is a sort of a parody of slasher films, but it really feels like a complete and loving tribute in the way that they did it. I really actually enjoyed the aspect that they chose for how they put the people into a slasher world to do the parody. It's like one part Last Action Hero and then one part sort of Wizard of Oz. I have my own theories. We'll get into it when we actually get into the movie as to what's happening, as to how they got put into the movie. But I really enjoyed the idea of the daughter getting one last chance to see their lost parent through reliving this film, or living through the film, more or less. So
yeah, I didn't expect this movie to have such a strong like emotional core to it.
It's got a lot of heart, right?
Yeah, a ton.
I got blurry-eyed.
Yeah.
At least once.
Yeah.
I'll admit it.
Yeah, I watched this movie multiple times, and my wife and I were watching it at the hotel before we came over, obviously, and the parts that are actually more sad and weepy-eyed, I made sure to distract her because I didn't want to make her sad while we were watching. I just wanted her to enjoy those parts of the film that are actually funny with the slasher. And the stuff that's funny in this is like legitimately funny, but it's not done in a way to where it's like not Naked Gun stupid humor or like a scary movie kind of thing. The humor actually comes out of them acknowledging the things that happen in a slasher that are going to happen and what those rules are that every slasher fan is looking for in that. And so they try to survive it, but even these people that are aware of what's happening in the movie, even they succumb to the bullshit that happens in a slasher that makes you a victim, which is great.
Yeah, so it's interesting too because as a general rule, we have a no comedy rule.
Yeah, you did mention that.
And I mentioned that to you. And then I said, well, we'll run it past Brennan, see if like it passes his smell test. And he was all for it.
Oh, yeah.
Which I was surprised.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it feels like a perfect movie for this series, for like summer slasher camp too. Like it fits really well.
And interestingly enough, and I was probably going to save this for later, but I'll just say it now. It's an interesting companion piece considering we did In a Violent Nature.
Yeah.
Which follows the killer.
Yeah.
But this movie, the killer is barely in it.
Barely, yeah.
It's not the focus of the movie.
No, yeah. But it's still, I can't remember what your criteria was specifically, because you each have your own thing that you choose to what makes it a slasher or not in the past. Yeah. And I was trying to remember if it would fit that criteria or not. But I think it's like, it has more than enough kills. Especially in the flashback scene where you actually see the first run of this killer doing his kills. He kills at least 8 people right there in front of you on screen. So I figured that was covered. The one thing the reason that I majorly picked it was when I was listening to the episode that you covered with Pete, when I think you guys did The Prowler with Pete. One of the things that you were talking about was you didn't need all the boobs that were on screen. And they actively do not show you boobs in this film. They make jokes about how showing boobs, even just in a bra, will get you killed. like the killer comes right after you.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
I was like, this is perfect for Dan and Brennan. We got to cover this
Yeah.
one. This is perfect for their summer slasher camp. That's why I picked it.
Oh, well, is it kind of bad though that this one I'm like, I would have seen those boobs. It is bad, right? It's bad that I just said that out loud. Is it?
I mean,
No.
I
Yes, no.
anyways,
Our wives are upstairs.
well, this is the litmus test for me. And I would say this in front of her, even if she comes downstairs and beats me for saying it now. It doesn't matter. But the litmus test for me is: do they exist? Yes. Do I want to see them? Yes. That's how it works for boobs.
That's fair.
If they exist and I can see them, I want to see them.
All right, so let me go over the letterboxd info here. So The Final Girls, it's from 2015, directed by Todd Strauss Schulson, and the synopsis on here is as follows. A young woman grieving the loss of her mother, a famous scream queen from the 1980s, finds herself pulled into the world of her mom's most famous movie. Reunited, the women must fight off the film's maniacal killer. That's fair.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. And this movie stars, damn it, I've looked up how to pronounce her name too.
I know the last name's Ackerman. I don't know the first name for if that's the one you're stuck on.
Oh, no, that one I got.
Oh, Tisa Farmiga? Is that the
Yeah.
one? Yeah, Tisa Farmiga, I think is how
Yeah.
that's pronounced. I'll take the blame if I got that wrong. You don't
I
have
think,
to.
no, I think you're correct on
Yeah.
that. And then Malin Akerman, Nina Dobrev, Alexander Ludwig, Adam Devine, Thomas Middleditch, Aaliyah Shalkit. I don't know how to pronounce her name.
That one I can't
Oh,
help you
damn,
with, my
she's
friend.
too famous if she hears this. She's not going to like me.
People would recognize her as probably maybe from Arrested Development. I think that's that actress, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of like a who's who of 2015, up and coming, young, good actors too.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
all the male actors in this that are pretty much like the fodder for the slasher are all punchable face guys, including the one from who played Bjorn in Vikings.
Oh, absolutely.
Adam Devine makes a whole career out of playing the guy that you just want to punch in the face
He
over
was
and over
great
again.
in this movie
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, he was excellent.
Yeah.
He's just doing him.
Yeah. Well, he's doing an amped up version of him that would be like how he would be in the 80s, you know? Yeah.
But yeah, the guy who plays Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got one of those like imitation beard men,
Yeah.
you know, where it's like like somehow their beard color is flesh colored, so it's like clear. I worked with a guy, and all the time we would just yell at him, "Imitation beard man," and he would just get so mad. And it was kind of mean, but like also he was a terrible worker, so he was asking for it.
Oh, well, if you're going to be an asshole, then prepare to be bullied by your coworkers. That's just going to happen.
Duh, yeah.
It's worker solidarity. Don't be a prick.
Yeah, he had it coming.
Yeah. I will take your word for that because you've been nothing but gracious to me since I've entered your home. And I'm
Well,
not
you-
just saying that because I don't want my head mounted on the wall next to Pete's. Sorry. He's still alive.
Ish.
As far as we know.
This weird artificial heart mechanism Brennan made. It's been pumping blood through the severed head.
Yeah, sometimes you can see like his eyes dart around.
He starts psychically communicating with a monster that you made in the other room, like it's the brain that wouldn't die. Instead of Jan in the pan, it's Pete on a plate.
Kind of makes weird noises like everybody in Motel Hell that's
Oh,
buried
yeah,
in the
yeah.
ground.
Yeah, the gargling noise that one person recorded and they just dubbed it over everybody multiple times. But we're not talking about that film. We're talking about Final
That's
Girls.
right. Oh yeah, we also have a trailer.
Oh, the trailer machine.
Cort, would you like to fire up the trailer machine?
I don't know, it looks kind of dangerous. There's a lot of spherical but quite pointy parts, but where's the play button?
That's right there.
Okay, I'm going to press it now.
Why isn't anything happening?
Your machine's a dot matrix printer? What?
Camp Bloodbath is the granddaddy of all campsite slasher films. Max's mom plays Nancy, this shy girl next door.
Nice legs. What time they open?
It's cool you get to remember your mom this way.
At least I get to see her on the anniversary of her death, even if she is being chased by a psycho.
Guys, somebody's coming.
Hey, do you guys know the way to Camp Bluefinch?
Tina.
So, we're in the movie.
Oh, hi. What's your name?
Best summer ever!
Anyone want to help me
me pick some strawberries?
Nope, but I'll give you a hand with those melons. Talking about her boobs.
The writing is so bad.
What is that noise?
It's Billy. He's coming. Everyone who has sex in this movie dies. It's awesome.
No sex.
Wait. Selfie time.
How do we get out of here?
Movies like this end when the final girl kills the bad guy and the credits roll.
That's Paula. That's the final girl. We just have to stay with her till the end of the movie.
Oops. I want to know where they keep the hardware. I want chainsaws and big-ass knives, and I want them now.
Guys, what's happening? Why am I colorblind? Am I having a stroke?
We're in a flashback.
I wonder if all this blood is just corn syrup, you know? Like these characters are walking around with just corn syrup in their veins. Oh, no. Oh, God, that's blood.
I know in the movie you're supposed to die, but that doesn't mean you have to, right?
What do we do now? We fight.
Wow, and I'm lame. I don't make my own sound effects. I just sample them off of stuff and put them in my show.
What sound effects? That's the trailer machine.
the trailer
We just
machine.
watched the trailer for this movie.
Oh, it's not Michael Winslow over here that's your kid? No. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So, well, hey, let's go over the movie, shall we?
Sure.
So, yeah, it opens up when we get the Camp Bloodbath trailer. So that's the whole thing. I guess we're not going to play that, though. But, yeah.
It's instead of singing Kumbaya, they'll be screaming Kumbaya. No.
And then we learn that, hey, mom was in the movie and she's having trouble finding work as an actor, which I would find hard to believe.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that are in the movie industry would hire someone that was an infamous scream queen just for being an infamous scream queen.
Mhm.
But then again, if she's spending her whole career trying to get out of and be away from horror, I think that's also her mistake.
Yeah, they kind of hinted at that. And honestly, because she looks the same as she did in the 80s.
Yeah.
And
Well, there's a reason for that because of how they filmed the film, but yeah.
well, sure. But, I'm not going to go like, well, they should have aged her up.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
technically they probably should have just for optics, but
Yeah. Well, I think the idea, though, is that, she looks almost exactly the same. So everybody's always going to recognize her from that film. She's never going to be able to grow past that. And unfortunately, that did happen for a lot of actors and actresses that were in these kind of, especially the one-off or two-off slashers. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very accurate to their experience, I would say.
yeah. And back then, nobody would, you would get typecast immediately.
Oh, yeah, it still happens to this day. And there's some actors that lean into it, and are just like, if they're the horror gal or guy, they're just going to go for it. And hopefully they like the genre and they're not just pretending to like it for their
They get that money. They get that money either way.
Yeah, there's plenty of folks that are really happy just to be in one slasher after another or one horror movie after another, just because at least they're working.
Yeah. And honestly, a lot of them are excellent character actors too, on
Mhm.
top of it. So they're very well skilled and well deserving of any work they can get.
Yeah, I totally agree. But for the purposes of this film, she has to be unhappy with being in that film because then it makes it more of an issue whenever the daughter's asked to go see it after.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
makes
because
sense.
movies got to happen.
Right. You got to have an emotional pull. Otherwise, you're not going to have the emotional weight the film's trying to have. So,
Yeah. You can't start this. You can't have this movie with a Linnea Quigley.
right. It's more of a Betsy Palmer situation where Ebert and Roper doxed her because they're so angry that she was in Friday the 13th. That happened, by the way.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
They full on doxed her. Like I think they gave them like an address to write to protest her being in the films or be enraged.
What?
I don't remember exactly what it was, but they full on just like called her out on their show because they hated slashers so much.
Lame.
Yeah. Ebert's a dick, by the way.
Yeah.
FYI. Just
He's a pretty hit and miss.
more miss than hit for
Yeah.
me. I really dislike that dude. Like a lot of the stuff that he's done to horror actors and actresses and just the way that he's acted about horror films in general And like, what's your claim to fame, dude? You wrote one thing for Russ Meyer. I don't think that makes you a paragon of morality.
Right.
Not that I hate Russ Meyer. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love Russ Meyer's films. It's just I think Roper or Ebert's a fucking self-involved dick. The opinions expressed on this podcast are wholly Cort's and not that of the Corrupted Youth Podcast in any way, shape, or form.
You're on here. It's good enough. Yeah. So this whole scene, like it's brief. It's mom and daughter discussing things. They're bonding. They're singing along to Betty Davis Eyes.
That's a really cute moment. That's very endearing. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm getting misty just thinking about it later. Anyways, the whole time they're doing this, they're doing the car thing where you go, this is going to result in a car crash because nobody's watching the road.
I think it would have been ironic if the bills she throws out the window to distract her daughter from the fact that she's a failing actress and just trying to make her daughter be happy and have fun, if that would have contributed to their accident, like maybe it hit the window of another car or something and it careened in. But they didn't. It happens much later, unfortunately.
And when it hits the windshield, you get the inside perspective and it's a car insurance bill.
Right? Is it? Yeah. Like it's a notice their car insurance has been canceled right before the accident happens. Yeah.
Terrible CG accident, and which is fine. I get it. This is a low budget film.
Serviceable.
Yeah, it's tolerable for the time too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of the charming CG that they do in this, where it's like it's just real enough, and you go, yeah, you can see the effort put into it.
I think I'm going to give it a little more leeway too because it's also a parody. So if something doesn't look quite right when they did it with the CG, I'm going to assume they did it intentionally to mimic a style. It's not just cutting corners. But maybe I'm just giving it too much leeway.
Yeah. 3 years later, we've got the daughter. She's with her study group, and this is where we get introduced to some other characters. Brennan.
Oh, you want me to name characters?
Name them or just describe who, like their archetype.
Yeah. So there's the daughter Max and her best friend. Wait, what's her best friend's name? The one that picks her up in the car?
I don't remember her name, but she's always Maybe. To me. Every time I see her, it's like, that's Maybe from Arrested Development.
Yeah, I think it was like Gertie. They didn't even say it for like the longest time. Like, this is a weird movie where they don't really say people's names.
Yeah.
Gertie sounds right, I think. Yeah.
Well, it's Gertie now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Either way.
Either that or I'm just going to call her Maybe.
Yeah.
Gertie is like the best friend, always got Max's back. And Gertie is pushing Max to talk to this guy more. I don't know the dude's name either.
Oh, that's Bjorn from Vikings.
Yeah, I actually remember his name is Chris.
Chris.
Or you can just call him a hunky boy.
Or Invisible Beard.
Mr. Fleshbeard, yeah.
Yeah, Fleshbeard.
That just sounds nasty. That sounds like something that would end up in a Leatherface situation. Like Leatherface's great uncle is Fleshbeard. He has a beard made out of flesh from other people.
Very well could be an 80s adult film parody.
Oh, yeah, Fleshbeard. Yeah, instead of Leatherface.
But yeah, Max and Gertie drive over to the diner to meet up and study with Chris, and then Gertie's brother shows up. Stepbrother. And and he's pretty great too. I forget the actor. What's the actor who plays him? Because he's in a ton of stuff.
I know him from Silicon Valley. He was the guy that was in charge of all of the companies, basically, and he invented the middle-out compression that every time I see him, I just lean over to my wife if we're watching something that he shows up in, and I start that dialogue about, with middle-out compression, from Silicon Valley, because that's the kind of nerd I am. And that's literally like, I don't know that guy's name. I just say that line and she knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's like, you're like, oh, it's the guy from The Thing.
That guy.
Yeah. And while he doesn't have a punchable face, he most certainly has the most bullyable personality. Like, I don't believe or condone in bullying in any way, shape, or form, but like with him, I almost understand.
Yeah.
And that's a weird thing, is because he's probably the one person we could all identify with the most.
Right, especially me, because he is the slasher fan, and he's like willing to do homework to get this girl to come in and do the thing that makes them go to the movie, right? Like,
yes.
He's like Randy in Scream. Like, you should be identifying with that character as a slasher fan if that's where you're coming to this with.
Yeah, because he's having a Camp Bloodbath festival at the movie theater that he works at, and he wants Max to show up for a Q&A 3 years on the exact day of her mother's death.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the Camp Bloodbath 1 and 2 screening is supposed to be a tribute. That's why it's on the anniversary of her death.
Oh, I didn't catch that part.
Yeah, he says something like that, and there's a bit in there where his stepsister is played by the actress who plays Maybe. And she's giving him some crap about that. But then that's when he makes, because the Fleshbeard dude is actually tutoring her, because apparently he's also brilliant on top of being just this good looking guy that doesn't even need a beard, that doesn't look like flesh. So he's tutoring her, right? And because of the class that she's failing, and the easy out is the nerd who is the horror fanatic who wants her at this showing will do all of her homework and make sure that she can graduate just for showing up for one night and having to relive the horror of seeing her mom on screen in the slasher film. That's the whole crux of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Kind of a good deal for all that homework.
Yeah, it sounds like the kind of deal that I would offer to somebody if I were trying to get them to a horror-thon that I were scheduling. Like, I can totally identify with this guy. Like, he's desperate, like, to make this work because he really loves these movies.
Yeah, she eventually agrees, and we get introduced to the final member of this friend group, Vicky.
Yeah, and she's like your stereotypical kind of mean girl, like bratty. She's like very flirtatious with Fleshbeard.
Well, that's her. They broke up. That's one of the things that they say. And she's basically trying to manipulate and gaslight him back into being with her.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
Right in front of Max, too.
Yeah. And it's a really good source of hilarity in how ridiculous and demanding she is to her ex-boyfriend, and how manipulative she's trying to be, and how everybody is literally just tolerating her because they almost feel sorry for her.
Yeah, because she showed up with another guy
and then ditched him, right?
Yeah, she ditched him because she saw Chris was there, and he's like, oh no, he got sick.
Well, and there's a thing where she shows up and he's like, so you saw that I posted this on my social or whatever, and she's like, I don't even follow your Twitter feed, which, by the way, you lost 3 followers. Very Trumpian line that she just said there.
But yeah, so they're in a packed movie theater. They're watching the movie. We get like bit of the movie, like just a piece of the I guess for these movies, like the campfire story.
It's all the trailer moments that we saw at the beginning, just without all the filters thrown on top because you're watching the actual movie in the theater.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like this whole Final Destination situation starts happening. Like, you know, you see somebody like light up a cigarette.
Oh, that was a joint.
Oh, that was a joint.
Oh, that was totally a joint. In my mind, I don't know if it actually. I mean,
it looked like a blunt.
Yeah, who just lights up a cigarette to be risked of getting thrown out of the theater unless you're at a midnight showing and you're trying to get high. But that guy just puffed and puffed and puffed and he didn't pass, and that's why everybody died.
Yeah, and like some other guys are like drinking some vodka and somebody drops the bottle and it rolls over and
yeah, until you
spilling
mentioned
everywhere, creating like a trail of vodka.
Yeah, until you mentioned that it was very Final Destination, I didn't think of it that way. But yeah, like I was just hoping for Downey Todd to show up and be like, "So Death's design," for just a second, right?
Oh, let's have a moment for him.
Oh yeah, sorry I brought him up.
Yeah, that's all right. He was awesome in that last movie, by the way.
I haven't seen that yet. We watched all of them working up to it because my wife and I are a fan, and we didn't get to the Bloodline one, but we will probably watch it very shortly. I'm excited.
It's so ridiculous, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I will say this about those movies. When I watch them, I have this initial moment of like, I'm skeezed out because like, oh my God, real life accidents are, you know, like it's that thought. And then it becomes so dumb that I'm like, yeah, like, oh no, that one didn't work. Come on. I don't want to see these people die in ridiculous ways.
The eventful drive that we had up, we were making references to how this was very much like Final Destination. Like maybe we're getting warnings not to come up here.
Oh man, I used to have to drive like a half hour every day in the morning. And probably like 8 times out of 10, I would have to be behind a log truck.
Oh yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
No fucking thank you.
Yeah, that became a meme for a reason because that was really effective. Not to go too deep into it, but 1, 2, and 3, all pretty great. 4, horrible. Just skip it if you can. Doesn't really affect anything. Go right to 5, back into form, and then you're good for 6.
I've never seen any of them.
Well, that's my recommendation to you. If you're going to give them a shot, just skip 4. It's not really worth it.
There's not even like an element of good bad?
Oh no, it's very good bad.
Okay.
Like if you want to riff on it with a couple of people, like it's very good for that. But the other, like for actual enjoyment factor, you can just skip it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, the opinions brought about by my voice are of me alone and do not necessarily represent those of Corrupted Youth.
Yeah. So anyways, like trail of vodka. That guy's just like chiefing. He's bogarting that joint, and the cherry falls
it's his,
off.
and no one asks for it. So well,
maybe
I may have indicted him, but he could have offered. Like you could have seen him trying to pass to the people to his immediate left and right. That's just the polite thing to do.
But the cherry falls off and sparks a fire, and the whole theater starts going up in flames.
This was actually decently done CGI that they used to make this all happen. I like the way the ash felt. I thought that looked really good.
I like the following of the flame too.
Yeah, it was really good.
And so then, there's, I guess, Chekhov's machete that falls.
There's a guy that's actually dressed like the killer. I can't remember what his name is that they refer to him as, but he's clearly a Jason Amalgam.
Billy,
yeah. And he actually does have that machete. You see when he gets up in the panic when the fire hits, you see him drop it and it get kicked around a little bit. I've watched this film a lot of times. So
that's what I'm saying. Like it's Chekhov's machete. Because you're like, oh, okay. Like that's going to come in handy.
But they set it up again, almost Final Destination style, where you're like, oh yeah, they're going to pick that up. That's going to be a thing.
Yeah. And so Max picks it up and they're like, well, we'll just like cut our way through the screen to escape because everybody's going to just, block all the other exits. And so they go through the screen and magic.
All right. I had a little bit of canon in my own head where I thought that maybe that was a screen used machete prop that the guy who was dressed like Billy had.
Oh.
And as Billy is doing a kill in the screen, like on screen, she reaches up and holds this machete in the same way and stabs the screen and slashes down. Now, I don't know if it's supposed to be supernatural or her desire to see her mother again or what it is that's supposed to power this. I just assumed that the golden ticket from Last Action Hero just fell in the theater at just the right time for them to get in there.
Yeah, so they wake up and they find themselves in the beginning of the movie with the van loop.
That joke that they went and had them actually sit there for 92 minutes again 3 times is fucking hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Yes. They encounter the folks in the van and then they just like dismiss it. And yeah, it's 92 minutes, the length of the movie. And then the van comes by again as if the movie is restarted. So they're kind of like, it's interesting in a Groundhog's Day thing, but you have to do certain things. Like you have to participate.
Yeah, I did like that because they're trapped in the film. If they don't move, they're stuck in the same place and they just basically wait there until the movie starts again. And they can't move unless they move with the characters that are in the film because you can't travel off frame, right? Like anything that was shot in the frame where they ended up entering in. I did like that idea. And I like that the nerdy guy who does the middle out compression from Silicon Valley is like, he figures it out like pretty much after the first time. He times it on the second go around when that shows up. And then they actually give them the directions the second time they come back. And then when the third time comes in, he actually has it set on the timer because he knew how to count down from. And it goes off right as the van is coming. I love that joke.
Yeah, it's great that it's the runtime too.
Yeah. It would be really cool if the runtime of Final Girls was exactly 92 minutes, and then they just they dubbed that in later after they figured out the runtime. Like it makes it super meta, I don't think they did that though. I didn't check the running time to be able to say.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah.
They do get in the van and say that they're counselors, and there's some pretty funny stuff in this where like Adam Devine's character asks if they're poor because of the way that they're dressed because they're not 80s cool.
Yeah, like he thinks they look really, really gross. And like he just is like, yeah. Yeah, he does a douchebag so well in this. He's really good at that.
Oh, yeah. His name's Curt. That's a good
that's a great name.
Douchey 80s name.
That's too close to my name of Cort. I'm just going to not comment on that. I would have been an 80s douche. I grew up in a more sensitive time, so I became a more well-rounded adult.
Oh, this is the first scene that we get with Max and her mom.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess her mom's character in this movie because it's weird like that.
I do like the wake up sleepyhead, and then she does the appearance, and then Max is just staring at her, and then gets all weepy-eyed, and then she's like, "Are you okay? Do you miss your mom?" And it was like, oh
yeah.
Right in the heart with that line when she says that to her character. Because it's perfectly natural for a counselor to assume when someone is sad that maybe they miss their family. And what's the family member that most kids are going to miss right off the bat is the mom, right? So, yeah, that was a rough one.
There was a couple of lines like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes. They're going to how I don't have a mom. Yeah, movie guy, he's just loving all of this.
Like, he actually says the lines along with them, and he's like super stoked. And I think me being the person that I am, if I got trapped into a slasher film that I knew and I had memorized, I would be more terrified than happy to be stuck in a slasher film that I loved and had memorized. Like, because I know what's coming.
He has the idea that he can just buck this system.
Yeah.
Like, he's just there. He's like, yeah, I know this movie inside and out, and it's going to be a good time. But everybody's kind of freaking out, and they think they can leave. So they're trying to get the keys, but then Cort just chucks the keys.
Yeah, I don't care how much of a douche you are. What kind of a moron chucks the keys to his own vehicle that far away for no reason?
Yeah, like if they don't find it, then you're just going to have to go out there and look for it.
Right. I realize you don't want to leave the camp today, and that's why you did that, because you're a douche, but you would like to leave the camp eventually.
You don't want it to like rain. You don't want keys to get rained on. Or...
Well, and then also, like, you know, how do you lock up the van when you're not inside of it to make sure that nobody doesn't go messing around inside your van? Like, you know, if this is supposed to be your shaggin' wagon, you want to keep it clean, you want to keep it nice, and anybody can just get in there and mess it up. And if you're that big of a douche to people, someone going to take a dump in your van. That somebody's me, by the way. I will do that if you're a douche.
Brennan, get the keys.
You're safe. You're fine.
Lock the van.
Jesus, he just said he was going to shit in a van. Why did we invite this guy to our house?
Oh my God, Brennan. He just whispered about shitting in our van again.
What the hell is wrong with this guy?
Good. Now everyone thinks that Cort's the one that pooped in the
van. Ooh, plot twist. I like where this is going.
We get one of like many, like, I don't know. I'm just kind of like, I took very vague notes a lot on this movie because, I mean, I find it hard to talk about a movie with jokes.
Yeah.
You know, and comedies in general, because we've always said, like, we don't do comedies because we're the joke.
That's fair. Yeah.
It's not that we're funny. Like, no, we're the joke. It's sad.
Oh, the fact that you watch the film is the butt of the joke and everyone's laughing at you for covering it.
Yeah. We do this podcast with 10 of listener.
I am one of those 10s.
Yeah, but you get a Max and mom talk. They just kind of have these moments throughout the movie where they're bonding, but it's more of a friendship from the mom character where Max, like, you get like, man, like, think about that though. Like, just being able to, it's your mom, but it's not your mom. And you're going through all that emotion and loss.
And when she talks about wanting to have sex for the first time with Mr. Douche, I'm going to shit in his van guy that is played by Adam Devine. The daughter immediately is like, no, you don't want to do that. She's like, because she's got this thing where she can't get rid of the fact that that's not her mom. That's a character that her mother played.
Yeah.
And that sort of dissociation that she has is driving the entirety of the plot, which there are some jokes that are involved with that, but that's kind of the thing that we're hanging our hats on to be able to talk about is the actual storyline that gets involved, even though there's a plenty of jokes involved in all of that with the dialogue. Yeah. And
Max is also worried too because they realize like the world runs off of like slasher logic, where if you start taking your clothes off or, you know, you're going to have premarital sex, then the slasher is going to show up and try to kill you.
And she knows exactly how her mom's character is going to die.
Right. Yeah.
So she's trying to prevent that because to her, that's going to be like watching her mom die again as well.
Right. Yeah.
But these counselors who are just going through the motions of being camp counselors realize that also these new counselors are not on the list. So something is amiss, like they're catching on to that. But it's also interesting too, though. And I think somebody makes a comment in the movie too, is that there's no kids there.
Yeah, there's no kids yet. They're doing a slumber party as counselors before the kids are supposed to show up, which is pretty typical for a slasher.
Yeah.
And I do like that when Marilyn Atkins' character, the mom slash Scream Queen, has that line about how they're not on the roster, these new counselors. All the other people that are there automatically go, oh well, it's just more people to help. Like, they completely discount it. Like you would see people in a slasher movie do, where this red flag of something that should be very much concerning, they just completely disregard because party.
That's what I like about characters within the movie is like they will have like free will in a way, but they still act within the bounds of like how their slasher character, how that archetype would act, you know, like they still react to situations like those slasher characters would.
Yeah, and also at the same time, it's like when they do have a reaction to something that's amiss, it's almost like they're course correcting to get back on track to the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like, there's a couple of hints in Adam Devine's character's dialogue when he's talking to people that aren't part of the actual script of the movie. Like, especially when he's talking to Fleshbeard guy there, There's a little line where he basically makes it sound like he's actually gay and he's overcompensating by pretending to be a womanizer when he's talking to him. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's like this just little throwaway line that Adam Devine does. And you see at the end there's a lot of improvisation on his part and the other characters where they just threw some lines out there to see what would be funny, but it still had to be in with the character. And I feel like that might have been an improvised line that they worked with, and I think that the way that they did that was a really great way to show, like, usually that kind of guy, especially in the 80s, is really overcompensating for something they don't want to deal with yet. It was a nice little reference there. I like that.
Yeah, and then so the gang decides to watch the first kill, which is kind of interesting that they were like, wow, let's go check it out because it's going to happen.
I really like that the mean girl character is the only one that's like, this is fucked up. Are we just going to sit here and watch these people get murdered? You know? And then the slasher fan is like, oh, they're not real people. This is just a movie. But it's like, you're actually there, though. You know, it's the first kill that really drives it home to them, I think.
Yeah, because you got the, Silicon Valley guy.
Yeah.
Because he goes up after the first kill and he's like, see, it's probably like just fake blood, like how it is, like when they filmed it, and he tries the blood and he's like, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, he thought it would be funny if they were all running around with
like cornstarch blood.
Yeah, Cairo syrup blood. Which is the pretty standard or pretty typical blood. And then when he tastes it, he's like, no, that's definitely not it.
But then he also thinks that like the slasher won't attack them because they're not a part of the script. And the slasher does just stand there doing nothing, like not even moving. So they're like, oh, we're safe from the slasher. And right as the slasher disappears, the machete comes out of the woods and gets Silicon Valley guy right in the side.
I really like that moment that's a beat where he walks right up on the guy and he's staring at him and they're all freaked out and he's just standing there. Then that's when the slasher goes and walks off, and then the machete comes out of nowhere and hits him. That's what makes that, like, not really kill, but that fake out kill, because we do see him later when the machete hits him and he falls and they all freak out and run. That makes that really funny to me.
Yeah, then everybody tries to like just run away, but they're stuck. The movie won't let them leave.
Yeah, this is where it gets really kind of Groundhog Day almost.
Yeah, because they end up in a loop.
Yeah, so they're stuck in a liminal space that's literally, they can walk out of frame, but if it's not shot in frame, they're just going to end up back into anything that's in the frame in the movie. I think that's how the logic works, is they're contained within anything that was actually a shot in the film. They can't be anywhere where it wasn't actually shot.
And also on top of it too, when there's anything like credits for the movie or anything, or the title screen, like that's a 3-dimensional object that they have to avoid.
Yeah, the flashback, when they show that, where it's like summer 1951, where it's a flashback, and so the guys step over it, and the ladies just very cautiously walk around it, because it's between that and the car that they have to maneuver, and there's no way to kind of like go around it on the other side, because it's on the edge of the frame, even though they're in the shot. It's really neat logic that they have.
Yeah, they definitely do a good job of setting up the rules.
Very visually too, like they examine what they can and can't do, and you learn as they learn, which is kind of the way you want it done. You didn't want the guy that's going to explain everything to go total scream and like tell us everything that was going to happen, lay it all out, and then they don't follow any of the rules.
Yeah.
It's nice to just be like, well, we can't leave the frame apparently. And like, that's just my thought. I don't know if that's the case, but I just imagined that because they run one direction and then they come back in the other, they just must disappear into a liminal space that restarts them back in the loop, back into the frame.
Then we get a nice sing-along.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just your basic cheesy camp counselor sing-along.
I love that all the characters that belong in the movie are all happy and singing, and then all of the people that are trapped in the movie and just watch their friend die are terrified and trying to be quiet and are just like, their eyes are darting around. That is so fucking cool.
Yeah, and we get the introduction of Paula, who is the camp bloodbath final girl. She shows up, and I don't know, I'm not really buying that. Would this be the final girl in one of these movies? Because she seems pretty rad and somebody who totally would have.
Yeah, but there's a talk about how she's really into restoring cars, and I just don't think she's into relationships. I think she's just kind of into fixing stuff, and she's kind of an angry character as well. They also established that she is definitely a virgin. She says so herself at some point. Like, and she's not interested or even like remotely intrigued by any of the guys when they even talk to her, like they hit on her. So she may be even coded as LGBTQ. Maybe. Possibly. And that's why she's technically a virgin in the slasher world. I don't really know. but also a lady that drives a souped up, what was it, a Trans Am she had?
It was sick. It was a sick car.
Yeah. And it's like perfect for the 80s because it's like the paint's coming off the roof and all of that kind of stuff. It's working, but it needs body work to really, really be cherry again. And then she comes out in a leather jacket and just looks like the typical bad girl that everybody would be hanging out with in an 80s slasher film. Yeah, but she's not your prototypical final girl. You would think that Marilyn Ackman's character would be the final girl.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, which is, I guess, would make Camp Blood almost like an inversion of your regular slasher rules, maybe.
Maybe that's why it's so popular.
Right, right. It could be like a sleepaway camp situation where it's so different than all of the other ones that it makes a name for itself because of some of the story plots that it chose.
Something really crazy. You just mentioned sleepaway camp. I met somebody, one of my old coworkers. She used to go to a place called Sleepaway Camp. Every year when she was growing up, she would go to sleepaway camp. And she said that, and I was like, do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know that there's a horror like slasher set at a place called Sleepaway Camp?
Yeah, that was kind of a name for them. We actually had
that's a generic name,
that's
right?
That's a generic name.
Where I grew up, in the mountains in the Appalachia in Pennsylvania, there was actually not too far from us a camp that had gone through a couple of different names. But at one point in time when I was a kid, it was on the signage Sleepaway Camp. So when that movie was on video, I was like, holy shit, was that here?
Yeah, that's like I used to well, just up north, we here in Wisconsin, we have a Crystal Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And we went camping there, and I was like very, very young, but I had already seen some of those movies, and I was like, we're not gonna go stay at Crystal Lake, are we? Like, I don't want to stay there. I mean, granted, I was a kid, but you know,
why take that chance?
Yeah.
On the drive up here, we actually saw a sign for a place that was called Crystal Lake Cave, and we were joking, saying that's why the choo 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 ha 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 echoes, because Crystal Lake's inside a cave.
Oh, I love that this movie has that.
Oh yeah, and they can hear it.
Yeah, and they can hear it.
They can hear it. Nobody else in the movie can hear it, though.
Yeah, that's a wonderful nod to it, that like if you're not actually part of it, you're aware of what's going on. Like, so they have like a little warning detector that he's on his way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our gang decides to come up with a plan where they're going to split up, and everybody is assigned a counselor to hang out with, it's pretty fun. It leads to some good interactions between everybody.
They're trying to keep themselves alive, but they also can't move around in the film without an actual character that belongs in the film, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this results in, a budding relationship.
It's so cute, though, isn't it? The way that they start falling for each other because they're actually perfect for each other just decades apart. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, well, we didn't even get into any of the counselor types, but like, it's this dude with suspenders and he's kind of nerdy. And
he's like the new wave character that shows up in the later 80s slashers. I'm thinking like Friday the 13th 5, particular with the girl who does the weird like robot dance before she gets massacred. Like he seems like he's that kind of character for that influence. And there's a lot of these characters are coded by specific, really well-known characters, particularly in the Friday the 13th series, because that's what this is a direct parody of. And it could be debatable as to which one you think it is and which one it might actually be, for sure, but for him, I definitely think that he's that one from Friday the 13th Part 5 that had the frosted like tips and stuff like that and did her little robot dance.
Yeah, she was probably my favorite in that one for certain reasons around that time that I watched it. Let's just say that's probably where I have my aversion to boobs and slashers, because I was like, I don't want to see that and then see that person get killed.
Oh, well, that was a different character that I'm thinking of then, because I was thinking about the girl and boy that sneak off to have sex on the property of the lady with her weird son that like rides around on the motorcycle screaming at people. Like that's the scene that usually most people are traumatized by, because her death is horrific after like you get to see how wonderful she looks naked. Like if that's the one you're referring to, that makes sense.
That might be.
Yeah, but the one that I'm talking about, she had the like bleach blonde hair with the frosted black tips, and she does the little dance too.
Yeah, that also might be who I'm thinking of too. Well, I don't know. It's all a blur.
You could crush on them all, but the really thing that you need to remember about Friday the 13th Part 5 is that's not Jason, that's Roy. So,
Well, Brennan's never seen it.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
that's not Jason, it's Roy.
He's actually like, I don't know. You have a weird experience, because I've been showing you a lot of things that most people don't get to see, and like you've skipped.
Well, let me just rattle some stuff off here, because people always are like, "What? You've never seen that?" Well, I've never seen a lot of the Friday the 13th. The only one I can really recall is Jason X.
I was gonna say it has to be Jason in Space. That's about the right age for you to have seen
Yeah. And Halloween, I've seen Halloween 1, 2, 3, and then the new ones, and also H2O. I'm a supporter of H2O. But anyway,
that's an odd
Great.
one.
Now we're down to 9
never
listeners.
No, I'm not going to leave over that.
Never seen any Nightmare on Elm Streets. I've never
wow.
seen any Child's Play, any of those.
So I haven't really exposed them to franchise horror in general, other than, say, Evil Dead.
Yeah,
that's
it. Like amazing.
I think that's pretty much it, and like a small bit of Halloween, but that's just more like your interest in wanting to watch it than me going, you need to see this. And we did watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
together, but we haven't watched any of the other ones.
Yeah, the first one's so good. Yeah, I watched that with all my roommates too.
Yeah,
even though you should watch part 2 because that's
2 is of all the sequels, 2 is my absolute favorite for that.
Mine
sure.
as well.
Yeah, it's just so over the top and cocaine-induced Tobe Hooper madness that you just have to see.
Yeah, that is cocaine on film.
Right.
Yeah, like anything that Tobe Hooper did for canon films, like most of the budget for that film went up his nose, and you can tell because the frenetic, weird editing and stuff it's just insane. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is probably the most egregious out of all of them.
And it's so fun.
Yeah, and the effects are actually really great. I think the main reason why in our age group, Dan, like a lot of people are slasher fanatics is because if you get into horror, it's the video stores were for our age, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like when you're starting to get into horror, video stores have slasher films everywhere because everybody is definitely actually renting the stuff for the first time, and it's just so easy to find. It's the reason I like the one-offs that I like is because where I grew up, the video stores couldn't afford to be able to get the good slasher movies, so they were getting the lower budget places that they would get their tapes from to be able to rent from. So it would have stuff like 3 and a Meat Hook would be readily available, but you couldn't find like Friday the 13th Part 4.
Yeah, so like my experience was we had a really good horror section at the grocery store near my grandma's house, and my grandma, she's like, he's got carte blanche to just get whatever, because my family just didn't care as long as it wasn't like a sex film. If it was a horror film, like, go for it. Like all the ultra violence, you watch it, kid. That's totally fine. So I could just get whatever. And a lot of the times, like a lot of the main franchise stuff would always be checked out because it was popular. And I would just get whatever. I would just be like, hey, what's this? What's this? And I would just be checking different weird things out because they had a good amount of weird things. Although I will say this, Bad Taste was one of the hardest movies to get your hands on, because it had such a cult following in my town that you were lucky if you could rent that.
From a very early age, I had a rent-to-own policy with VHS tapes because I figured out how to dub stuff pretty quickly from a very early age as a kid. So anytime that I would be able to get any kind of movie like that, I would definitely be renting to own and keep a copy of it in some way, shape, or form. I've subsequently bought all of those films that I've stolen over the years on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and now 4K, so I don't feel bad about the days when I used to dub the films when I couldn't afford to get them any other way.
More tangents. Okay.
I thought that's what this show was. I mean, I know it's called Corrupted Youth, but I thought it was, tangents. It was just...
We were just talking about our corrupted youth, so fitting.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's what the show's named after.
Yeah, the kids got it all tied back for you, man. Brilliant.
Yeah, but Max decides to intervene for Mom's Sexy Time with Adam Devine's character because like that's where she's gonna get killed, and she's like, no, this cannot happen, and he's just like, oh yeah, 2 for 1.
I love the line when he reveals the cherry tattoo that he's like a cherry snatcher or some shit. It was so gross. Like, why would you be attracted to this guy? Oh, it's just in the script.
I've known guys like that.
I know, but like I just can't picture a girl like Marilyn Ackerman's character just being like, oh, he's so attractive the way he's all skeevy and bragging about how he likes to deflower multiple girls. I don't feel how that, like, what's the line that she says, like, he's done this a lot, so maybe he'll be able to help guide her. It's like, yeah, I don't think that's what he's interested in doing. I'm sorry. You're attributing traits to a man that don't belong.
Yes. Well, since that was successful, we now get the story time which results in a flashback.
Loved the
Which-
flashback.
When they enter the flashback, it's like the entire world just starts like dripping around them. It's a pretty cool effect.
Very cool.
Yeah, the CG's a little ropey, but I think they did that intentionally. And I love that the people call out how weird and not right it looks.
Yes.
That aren't part of the film, and they don't know what's going on. The fact that they're super disoriented all the time and are upset about everything that's happening without their Randy character explaining things to them is where the comedy really comes from.
Yeah, and they end up like being absorbed into this flashback scenario. And this is all about like the Billy origin that was briefly brought up earlier. And since it's technically like a campfire story, that's a clip.
It all happened so long ago. Little Billy Murphy went to camp here decades ago. And he was always picked on for being
Guys?
different, ugly. And then one summer,
This is bad.
the hottest one on record, the counselors decided to play a little prank on him.
What's happening? Is this... What? Are we home? Oh, God. Why am I colorblind? Am I having a stroke? I think we're in a flashback.
It started as just another ordinary day. But little did
the
they
hell
know
is that
something
voice?
was about to go horribly wrong. No one really knows how Billy was before it happened. The counselors hated him, and the other kids bullied him mercilessly.
Stop! Where'd you get these clothes, huh?
Guys, that's Billy.
Come on, Billy.
Hey! What you little idiots doing?
Billy's in there, and he's been in there forever.
Billy locked himself in the outhouse thinking he'd be safe, but he was wrong.
Billy! Billy, open up! I know how to get him out.
Billy had third-degree burns all over his body because of the counselor's prank. And the only thing that could distract Billy from his terrible pain was thinking about what had been done to him. And during those long, agonizing nights in the burn ward, Billy's fear was slowly replaced by something else. Hatred. His face would never be the same. And so he made a mask to hide his scars on the outside. But his anger grew on the inside. All Billy wanted was to make everyone as afraid as he was on that terrible day. He started his reign of terror by returning to exact his revenge. He killed 8 counselors that night, one for every month he spent in that hospital bed. And legend has it Billy still lives in these woods in his own little shack, waiting for new counselors to cross his path, waiting to get revenge again and again.
And I could have programmed it on here for us to listen to, but
Yeah, we're fine.
yeah, we know.
No, what are you talking about? You did play it back. We all heard it.
Yeah.
it's poopy farts. All right. So, but yeah, this whole flashback thing, yeah, we brought it up earlier with the 3-dimensional stuff.
Yeah, that's the main one that it happens in, is in the first flashback. There's a line in there that the Maybe character, the actress who played Maybe, her character has a line in there that's really funny to me where she realizes everything's in black and white and she asks if she had a stroke or is she colorblind now.
I love that. Yeah.
That really made me laugh. And nobody else even like comments on it or tells her, no, we all see everything in black and white as well. Like they just let it out there and she's just like panicked still.
I love in this flashback because it shows Billy, like he tries to hide from the bullies in like this little outhouse, and then they throw like a ton of fireworks in there, and he gets a bunch of burns. And he shows back up after he like made the serial killer mask and everything, and he goes in while all the kids are sleeping, and he's hacking up all the kids. And Gertie gets blood on her face.
Yeah.
And then they come out of the flashback, and she just has like a bunch of blood on her.
And like all the counselors look at her and they're
Yeah.
all freaked out
Yeah, they
because
all
it's like,
freak
where
out.
did that come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like some of them, like Adam Devine's character and Paula, final girl, they decide to bail in her car.
Mm-hmm.
Go with this, Brennan.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're like driving away, and right as they're like about to leave the camp area, the dude who got the machete in his side, the Silicon Valley guy, whatever, just comes wandering out, and he's like, "Hey guys, I'm alive, and gets totally smoked by the car.
I think that was CGI, but that looked really good.
It did.
It looked
did.
really, really good. Like it looked like he actually got flattened by that car.
Yeah. So, and then Kurt starts freaking out. He's like, "Oh my god, you killed him!" And then she veers and crashes the car, and Kurt flies out the windshield and lands in like the the scorpion pose, I think it's called, like what people fall, but like his back totally breaks. It's like if you've ever seen Ridiculousness, it's like their logo they have.
This is a broken man.
Yeah.
I really like the line that he says in there too about how they just need to get out and then they can get into a motel, like relax for the night.
Yeah.
Like he's still trying to skeeve on her.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great outtakes at the very end in the credits of like
I love
various lines that
those.
he's tried to, and where it breaks all the characters as well. But that particular line about them just seeing what happens or whatever.
Yeah.
They just horribly murdered somebody, and he's immediately pivoting that into trying to get laid.
So now that things have completely gone off the rails, the gang decides like they really need to figure out a way to get through this movie. So
Well, they just killed the final girl by freaking her out and making her drive off into a fiery explosion.
So now like what their whole plan earlier is just shit.
Yeah.
And so like Nancy / mom and Max, you know, they realize that they're the only virgins in this group because Vicky has the like I'm claiming to be, but then like, oh wait, that didn't count. Like
it's funny how Chris is like, I know for a fact that you're not, essentially. There's a few outtakes of that aren't quite as good, where he tries some different lines. I think one of them he just ends up flat out just calling her a slut or whatever. But the one that he ends up using is like, he's looking at her like, I know that you're not for the same reason that I'm not, is basically what he says. And that was kind of the best line that they used.
Yeah, but this just results in like Vicky being mean to the mom character. And then we get a whole nother mom and Max talk where they just work through their feelings and bond some more.
Well, it's odd because the character that her mom is playing is trying to work through the trauma of what's happening and realizing that she's just a character. And the daughter is there trying to work through just losing her mom and can't accept the fact that this is just a character and not her mom. And they're talking about two completely different things, but at the same time, the dialogue actually works as if they're talking about the same thing and just assuming that the other person understands. I think that's really well written.
Yeah.
Like the mom talking about like, because she realizes that she's like destined to die basically, and she's like, but I have dreams and stuff. Like I want to go out exploring and become a mom. And she's like, oh, I would have been a great mother. And it's like, it's so rough.
It is kind of rough.
It's so rough.
It's shockingly moving and emotional the way that they set it up. It really is. You wouldn't expect that in a slasher film.
So now the gang needs to come up with a new plan. And their plan is officially called Operation Booby Trap. And they're going to use Tina as bait. And we haven't really mentioned Tina.
Oh, yeah. She's
before this, but
the hypersexualized character that's in almost all the Friday the 13th. She's the one that's going to go skinny dipping. She's the one that flashes everybody. And she was supposed to do a strip tease, and they have her tied up, sort of. She's wearing a button-up shirt that's buttoned all the way up with a life preserver snapped over top of that. And then so she can't take that off, they put oven mitts on her and then duct tape them in place so that she can't move that.
But because like her character wants to course correct this movie, she's constantly like just wanting to take her clothes off.
Yeah, she's trying. And I do love the line where she's like, why does he hate my boobs? Is it because they're too small? Like she has this like the total character moment of like feeling insecure, which is what drives her to seek the attention that she does, right?
And there was a thing earlier too about like how much clothes she had packed. Yeah. And it was like a bikini, and
that was one of
pretty much it.
Yeah, the main nerd character asks her that so he can quote the line when she says it back to him. That's what, because he actually, like, he's mouthing the words as she says it, and he's all super happy.
That's right.
Yeah. I told you I've watched this movie way too much.
Yeah, we get more Mom and Max talk, but this time there's a friendship bracelet involved.
Yeah, that was a nice touching moment.
Because, the mom character made a friendship bracelet and gives it to Max, which is sweet.
There was also a nice moment where she's like, because you're my first friend I made here.
Yeah.
Right before the escapes try to happen.
Oh, yeah. We forgot to mention that Vicky takes Adderall like they're candy.
Yeah, because she's a perfectionist on top of being the mean girl. She's also like super studious and all that stuff too.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this bottle of Adderall is inside the outfit that Tina's in.
I think it was her jacket that she was wearing. They buttoned up over Tina to keep her from going crazy. Yeah.
But she finds it and decides to take some.
Well, she was told they were Tic Tacs.
Oh. But yes, so the trap is set. Tina is bait and it works, but she's actually the one who fails because she's all wigged out on Adderall and super hyped up.
That striptease, the super hyped up striptease to Cherry Pie is absolutely hilarious. You just have to see it to believe it. It's really funny.
Kudos to the actress.
Yeah.
She did great when she got all hyped up on the Adderall. It was hilarious acting.
Yeah, she is one of the highlights of the film. She definitely has some of the best laughs for sure.
Yeah, like when they show her the cell phone, because the case is a cassette tape. It looks like a cassette tape, but she realizes it's not a cassette tape. And then she's told it's a phone, and that actually has like one of the funnier outtakes at the end of the movie where she's like trying to eat it.
Yeah, she's like, a phone I can fit in my mouth. Yeah. The line that they use in there is something about, okay, it's a phone. It doesn't even plug into anything.
Yeah, it can't be a phone. Where's the cord?
And she actually does try to put the cassette into the tape player to see what's on the cassette. And that's where the whole dialogue gets started with that. Yeah, that's all funny stuff. It's all good.
I love how this trap fails too, doing the dance and everything, doing the striptease to get the slasher villain to appear. And when Billy shows up, he starts walking in, and they had this whole elaborate scheme and trap set up, but Tina gets freaked out and she turns around and runs away.
As you would.
Right. And she immediately trips and face plants into a bear trap.
I felt so bad about her death. I was like, that's not right. But it's Final Destination. The movie's course correcting itself. These people are all going to die one way or another. Yeah.
And then just chaos. I like this scene because it's just chaos. Everyone's freaking out. They cut this rope that swings something down to hit the killer.
It's a giant log that was out front. Or no,
it was the totem pole.
The totem pole they cut down.
That's
they turned
right.
it in, which seems like a wrong choice when there's so many trees around.
Right. But it hits Billy into this mounted deer, like right into the antlers.
Yeah, they put all the antlers that were in the entire lodge, they mounted them all onto the door to make a nice antler death approach.
Pretty smart.
Yeah.
And it works too because
it hangs them up there.
Yeah, it is effective.
Yeah. If they could have all just basically ended it there by setting him on fire there or doing something else while he's hung up. But the one character who is in the movie is the brave guy who goes in to confront them, getting the machete, which they need to kill the killer. And you don't want to send in a character that's already expendable to do any of the work, no matter how brave they are. Because that fails miserably because he's the first to die from Billy.
Yeah, poor suspenders.
Yeah.
I do love the line. I forgot to mention it when we were talking about the character moments when they're split off, but I love the line when they all find out that they're not real and he asks if New Wave is real and he calms down when he realizes that New Wave actually was real. I just thought that was so cool.
He's like, yeah, I like that because he's like freaking out, having like this, I don't even know, like whole episode just like, I'm not real. And she's just like, oh, well, you're real here. And he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the existential crisis he's having is terrific. Yeah. Yeah, but the fact that New Wave exists, it doesn't matter to him whether or not he's real. Just knowing that New Wave is real made him feel better. And then, like, being told that he's real as long as this movie's happening, then he's okay. Like, New Wave will be real regardless. I'm good.
Yeah, they bust out some flaming arrows, which is pretty fun.
Smart.
They don't make a big deal about it, but whenever they're actually making the arrows, you can tell because of one of the outtakes, but they're actually taking tampons apart, wrapping them around the edge of the arrows so that they can have the little flaming part, so that when they actually do end up covering them in gas, they have all those arrows that are already on fire.
Cool.
And that's what they end up using, yeah. That was the first time I noticed that because of paying attention to the outtakes whenever Marilyn Atkin makes a joke about the tampons that they're using. That's when I noticed that that's actually what they were using.
Well, yeah, well, unfortunately, like, we also get a bookshelf that falls on top of Vicky and Gertie
That's more Evil Dead, I think, than anything else. I don't know too many slasher movies where people are getting disabled by bookshelves, but Ash and Evil Dead, any bookshelf falls on him, and he's automatically paralyzed. He can't help himself or fight.
Yeah.
Even
then,
like a board that was a shelf that falls on him, it pins him down.
Yeah, then they're kind of like, I put down that they're just written on the movie, which isn't true, but
there's a really...
that was an in the moment note.
Yeah, but that's a really nice moment, though, where they realize they're trapped, they tell the other people to go, and then they actually hold each other's hands, they become friends, and then they pour the gasoline in, and everything goes up. Supposedly, it kills them, but we'll see.
Yeah, and then like they experience slow-mo because they're conscious that they're moving slow.
That jumping out in slow motion on fire
so
out the
cool.
window is amazing. That
So
scene's
cool.
Yes.
so good.
Flaming Billy.
Oh, so cool.
We love a good flaming dude on this podcast. That's one of our favorite things.
Flaming anything is all good.
And man, that was good. And especially when he's like chasing them.
Yeah, that running
on
scene
fire.
in slow motion with the full burn. That looked like a full stuntman did that. I don't know if they augmented it, but that full body burn with the jump, landing, and running all looked like it was pretty much practical stunt.
And the music too.
Yeah.
That whole scene was just really well done.
That's the scene that's really going to quench you. If you're not in on this, you're not going to be in for anything else.
Yeah.
So yeah, then there's the mom character is talked into inducing a flashback, which is interesting.
Well, that's
because
how they
if she tells that story, a flashback happens.
Yeah.
So they do that to save themselves.
Yeah, that's how they escape the Billy that's coming after them from that fight, because they'll end up somewhere else after the flashback.
It's interesting too because when they go into the flashback, Billy is still there with them in the flashback.
Yeah, but he can't do anything.
Yeah. He gets hit by a car.
Yeah.
He gets hit by the car pulling up that ends up torturing him. So it's almost like a loop of torment for him right there.
But then he just vanishes, and they end up finding out where young Billy goes. And it's like some place that like the mom character hasn't seen it because she would have been dead. So she doesn't see that part of the movie. Nobody else knows the movie.
I have a feeling that you don't see it until Camp Blood 2, because in Friday the 13th, Jason isn't in the first one. It's the mother that's the killer, and you only see his cabin in part 2. But because they're going off script, because the other people are here, maybe that's how they find the cabin for 2.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe it gets revealed that her mom's character didn't actually get killed in the first movie. She's been tied up in the cabin, and she shows up in the second movie. I don't know. They don't actually discuss anything that happens in the second movie, for good reason.
Yes. So they end the flashback as he approaches, but it really doesn't work because what's his name? I don't know, Chad, whatever, hunky guy.
Oh,
boy.
he's Chris. Yeah.
Chris.
Fleshbeard Chris.
Fleshbeard Chris.
He must be a Hemsworth.
He gets stabbed, and then the mom character gets captured by Billy, and Max leaves. God, we just said his name, Chris.
Yeah.
In this chapel, and she goes off to save her mom, and she goes to Billy's hideaway.
Cool red lightning storm too.
I think they broke the logic of the film, and that's why that storm is happening, because the film's tired of trying to correct. Yeah, it's like a supernatural, like obviously them being in the film is supernatural to begin with.
Yeah.
But I think the supernatural presence in the film is coming to a head, and that's why they've broken the reality that they're in so much.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I accepted that it looks kind of ropey and fake, is that I was like, oh, like none of this is real anyway, and it's like it's freaking out. Like everything is just collapsing at this moment.
Or whatever supernatural power that's holding them in the film is also losing its control over them for this film. Like, you know, that's the edges of the reality blur or whatever, maybe.
Whatever it is, it looks really cool.
Yeah, I dug it. I didn't care why they did it. I was just like, that looks cool.
Especially when Max shows up to the cabin, like the house, and it's all flickering lights, red flashing lights.
Yeah.
All the chains hanging down and everything. Really cool aesthetic.
Yeah, very like they're trapped in hell or something.
Yeah.
But Max is able to get the mom released, and unfortunately this results in Max getting stabbed by Billy, and then the mom fights back and then is able to take Max to the chapel. And then Max ends up in this moment because she's injured. She spills the truth beams to the mom character of exactly what her relationship is.
Well, the character actually figures it out because of what she says. It's kind of like a dual thing where we were talking about earlier, where the one character that Marilyn Akin as a character in the horror movie is saying, mimicking what the daughter is trying to say about and to her actual mom, but they're not actually realizing that the other person is talking about something different or in denial about it, and then it converges here in this scene where they realize sort of, and it does come right out. It's a really well written the way that they do that.
It is.
Very tear-jerkery in this moment too.
Yes.
Very much really pulls at them heartstrings.
I was trying to avoid that.
Emotions are okay, Dan. You can
I
feel
know.
feelings. It'll be okay.
I know.
It'll be okay.
So, the next step of action, Brennan.
Well, obviously the killer must die for the movie to end. But there needs to be a final girl before it can. So the not mom, well, mom but not mom, realizes that she has to sacrifice herself. She has to die, lure Billy out so that Max can fight Billy and kill him and escape. And it's really sad because the mom goes out there and starts dancing.
Saddest striptease
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
So much emotional depth in a striptease to Betty Davis eyes.
Yeah.
So weird. It's such an awkward moment to watch.
Yeah, and of course Max has to sit there and like watch it all happen, and
Which that's tough because she's already
she's
had her
already
mom die.
Yeah, she already had her mom die in a car crash that she was a part of and survived, and now she has to lose her all over again as a character who is just trying to save her life. Very heavily coded stuff in there for parent to child and all of that kind of emotional depth. I really dug it.
yeah, and then she gets stabbed, she dies, and then Max is now the final girl, and they have a pretty cool battle. Max and Billy have a pretty cool battle in a big field.
Yeah, she's got nothing left. So, I mean, she's lost her mom twice already, and this thing is the only thing that's keeping her trapped in this film. She's lost all of her friends because of this. So that final girl transformation is complete with this fight, and it's badass.
Yeah, I like it too because there's a sense of like, well, because of this movie's logic, it's almost like she can't die.
Yeah.
By the movie's own logic, like in this fight, she's kind of predestined to win, and she's just pulling out like crazy moves, like sliding on the grass underneath like a knife being thrown at her. It's kind of like over the top in that way, where like the rest of this movie kind of had like a more grounded sort of feel to the fights. This is just, I don't know,
She
fun.
has plot armor,
Yeah,
basically, because she's the
yeah,
final girl
yeah,
now. She has plot armor.
total plot armor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
she's been
can do no wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been imbued with these final girl powers. So like her wound does not even
Yeah.
affect her anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, fun fight. Yeah, and she wins. She beheads Billy.
I was kind of hoping for what we saw described where the punches and then the brain goes out. I was
Yeah.
kind of hoping that she would actually get to do that, but she's a different final girl, so the beheading is more than enough. She just needs to make sure the beast is done.
Yeah, and Fleshbeard walks out.
Oh, I feel so bad for that. He's actually not a bad actor, and he seems like he's a pretty decent dude.
Yeah.
So I don't wanna give
Yeah,
him
I mean
too
his
much shit.
character is like not even like he's a likable character even.
Right. Like, and he's actually like trying to correct the misogyny of the 80s characters and like is a really good dude. And he seems like he's actually even an ally too. So like everything he has to say, like I really want to like his character, but like I just also want to poke fun at the Fleshbeard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because he's so handsome, he makes me insecure. It's just not fair.
We finally get the culmination of this romance plot because now Max and Fleshbeard kiss. She probably feels all like the prickly beard, and she's like, "What? He has a beard?" Probably the first time she realized. And it's fun too because the credits start rolling. They're just like floating in the air, like scrolling past.
Yeah, the movie's complete.
I love the rewind thing, the effect that they do where you actually see the film rewinding because, again, they were trapped inside the film.
Yeah.
And then when it's done rewinding and all the stuff comes back off and then it's just like that weird liminal space, then it goes to black and then they wake up in a hospital, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And everyone's there. The whole gang.
Yeah, the friends are there. And their patients too, and apparently it did all happen.
Yeah, I love the guy had a bad stitching effect across where he got macheted. I don't believe you can take a machete that deep into your side and then just have a few stitches and be okay.
Oh, definitely not.
But in the logic of a movie where you get put into the sequel, I guess that would make sense.
Because that's the big twist.
Yeah, and even the daughter, even the two ladies, the other survivors, they didn't get horribly burned alive. They're just fine in the hospital too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Brennan mentioned that when we were watching it. Like, why aren't they crispy?
Yeah, and it turns out, well, they just had plot armor put in because they survived to get into the sequel, and it makes sense because it was supposed to be Camp Bloodbath 1 and 2 until the fire interrupted it. So now they have to survive them both. Man, but we never get that sequel where we get to see them actually try to survive Camp Blood 2. That would have been fun.
I would have loved
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I was disappointed with that ending only because we didn't get a sequel.
Yeah. Especially like him jumping through and attacking the hospital. They're doing like a Halloween 2 reference with that.
Yeah.
And I have a love of Halloween 2 because of all the creepy hospital stuff.
I do as well.
Yeah, I know it's not everybody else's favorite, and I totally get that, but I really love Halloween 2 because I really dig that vibe from the hospital stuff. And that's the only thing that really breaks my heart is we only get hints at that from this, but I'm really happy with what we got. And then to cap it all off and to make everybody happy, we already talked about it. Through the credits of our actual movie is all of the outtakes of various lines the actors tried that didn't make it into the film, and all the improvising and some goofs and various things. And that's one of Bev's favorite things ever is an outtakes and breakup package like that. She loves to see those things.
Every movie should have it.
Yeah, I think so too. At least one that is comedic in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I don't think that you want something like that at the end of Schindler's List, right?
No, I'm fine with Cannonball Run.
Yeah,
I think that might be like, for me, that's like the upper echelon of outtakes.
Yeah. Well, and I love when Jackie Chan ran with that and you get to see all of his stunt failures and stuff like that from when he was in that series. And that's where he picked it up, was from Cannonball Run. But yeah, I think that is definitely the epitome of outtakes, is the Cannonball Run films.
Yeah. Well, he was in the second one?
I think so. He's one of them.
Yeah, he was in the second one.
With the super powerful car that the guys were running that were like all high technology.
You've never seen any of those movies.
I was about to say, that sounds really awesome.
They're pretty fun movies. I haven't watched them in a long time,
Yeah,
and I'm sure they don't age well.
Oh, I'm positive anything that Burt Reynolds is in this is not really aged all that well. Especially the early Burt Reynolds stuff. Like you cannot go back and watch Stoker Ace and not feel gross. Let me put it that way. But yeah, I think we're done with the movie, right? That's it?
Yeah, we are. Wow, that was fun.
Well, thanks for having me over and being able to record. This was a blast, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming over and suggesting this movie.
Yeah,
because
great recommendation.
Wasn't much of a drive. It was worth it. And I'm really glad you guys both enjoyed the film because that would have been a really awkward conversation.
I hated it.
It was just, I kind of loaded the game in my favor. I tried to pick one that I was sure you guys would like.
Yeah. So do you have your slasher trope checklist?
I don't know specifically what mine is, but it definitely marks all of them for sure. If it only has to be 5, I think it hits them all. You guys have said what yours were, but then you don't repeat them, right? Like I know it's like more than one kill, right? Is one of yours?
Yeah. So I'll go through mine first.
Because it definitely, like, I agree with yours and it definitely hits all of mine, whatever it would be.
Yeah. Did you see that on the last drive-in? Like how many? I think it was like
12. Yeah, 12.
23 or something
that.
That Joe Bob said makes a slasher, and I was like, whoa, I only have 5.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's getting really specific.
He tends to be overly academic about any interest or topic that he likes to research, and I'm here for that all day.
Yeah, I didn't finish that one because at the time, like I was still planning on doing In a Violent Nature.
Yeah,
for
that would have.
So I was like,
yeah.
I did not want to get tainted by any of his commentary.
Well, I actually saved the werewolf episodes from that most recent season for Bev and I to watch together because she's a huge fan of Dog Soldiers.
Oh yeah, that's a dude running.
I've seen a little bit of that movie. I heard that was really rad.
And that's what we were partying to last night that made us sleep in so much. It was that Dog Soldiers episode. It was a blast.
All right, so my slasher trope checklist is edged weapon kill, at least one. We got it.
Yeah, definitely.
Stalking, hunting of victims.
Totally.
Well, not completely explicit. It clearly because he will go after anybody strip teasing, so he's definitely stalking them.
There's a few shots of POV from his perspective where the camera's doing the Friday the 13th thing too, if I remember, which I would count.
Yeah. Peekaboo Corpse. It is in the actual movie, I think. The movie in the movie.
Not the one that they interrupt, but the movie within a movie.
Yeah.
Like Camp Blood itself is 100% a slasher.
Yeah. So I'll count that one just because. Yeah.
You have more like Peekaboo Survivors where survivors come up to scare people. It's almost an inversion of that.
Yeah.
And with a parody, I'll accept an inversion to make it a slasher.
Vice kill. Yeah, they definitely lean into that.
It's like all of them. All of the vices are kills for this. You just pop a top and you're going to get killed in this.
A body count of at least 2 victims. Absolutely.
Yeah. Just the camp flashback where he comes back from being burned and kills 8 kids that were tormenting him and then the counselors that blew him up. That covers that.
Totally.
I mean, do you count the ones where it's like they get to come back? I don't know. Whatever. I'm not going to nitpick this.
Well, all the characters that were in the film that we see die 100% die, but not all of them are killed by the slasher because they end up dying in different ways with the course correcting. Yeah. I still think this is, because it's a parody of slasher films, I'm still going to let it be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a slasher.
It is a slasher.
And if Jason's chasing someone and they fall to their death, I'm still going to count it as one of his kills. You know what I mean? Because he ran them off the cliff.
Like he would still be tried in court.
Right.
Oh my God, that would be an amazing. Why did that never happen?
Yeah. Jason goes to court.
It wouldn't really work out that well because he's not like Michael Myers, who only does kills at certain points or when the mood is right and everything is perfect on Halloween, right? Michael Myers is just basically catatonic and could be put on trial, you know, but Jason Voorhees, you would have to have him constantly restrained, and he would just end up like in Jason X, where he was in a military facility where they're trying to study him coming back. He would get no trial. There would be no due process for Jason Voorhees, is what I'm saying. But yeah, I would still consider it a slasher film. It still counts for me, at least for this purpose, for the camp, because there are plenty of kills. I mean, all the people in the theater get horribly burned to death.
Yeah.
And I'm actually of the opinion that all of the main characters that get put into the film actually died in the fire in the movie theater, and their punishment when they all get sent to hell in eternity is to live through both films over and over again. Like they survive, but they keep getting wounds and they keep getting tormented, like almost like an Until Dawn situation, but in Camp Blood 1 and 2.
So it'd be crazy if at the end of the sequel it just looped them back to the first one.
Yeah, like that could have been a really cool little like two-part series that
the
they could
third
have.
one, what if they ended up in like the really bad remake from like early 2000s?
Oh man, yeah.
And
yeah,
it was
the
like cheesy.
Platinum Dunes remake of Camp Blood. Yeah,
it was just all cheesy and bad.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good idea too.
Full of loud noises just to scare you.
Yeah, and then they explained that Billy's able to travel through the camp because he dug a bunch of tunnels.
Right.
I didn't mind that.
No,
because that's the thing. Everybody was always like, well, how does he get around so fast? And they're like, well, this is how he does it. He built tunnels. And then everybody's like, well, I hate it.
I didn't hate that as much as the other parts of the film. As far as remakes go for that, Friday the 13th remake, it's the one that they actually got the closest to how the movie should be.
Yeah.
I mean, and they've been remaking Friday the 13th for so many goddamn years, ever since the first one anyway. And changing
basically.
plot lines. Yeah. It wasn't nearly as egregious as the Nightmare on Elm Street one. That one was just awful.
Okay, anyways.
Yeah. Again, the opinions expressed by Cort Psyops are not those of corrupted youth.
You know, it's amazing how many people love the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and they love Freddy. You love a child-killing pedophile, you bastards.
Yeah, not a character, like, I don't want a t-shirt of him.
Weird, I almost brought my Nightmare on Elm Street t-shirt, and now I feel really awkward. No, I fully know what Freddy is, and it's the fact that he's so fucking evil and so unapologetically evil that attracts me to him.
Nah, I'm joking. I've got Darth Vader tattooed on me.
Well, and also you want to talk about child killers. Look at Darth Vader, right?
That's true.
Yo. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We all three of us here love some murdering younglings jokes.
It's like my favorite thing ever is the murdering younglings joke. Yeah.
All right, Brennan, how about you? How's your...
Oh, the checklist.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to pass. 3 or more kills. Check. Emphasis on kills. Check. Killer, hunting prey. I give it to this movie too because it's still happening. Main group of people being hunted. Definitely that.
2 sets of main groups of people being hunted.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah.
On different levels.
And then like a gimmick. So always got to be a gimmick of some kind. Yeah, I mean, this movie's gimmick was being in a slasher movie, so...
Well, and the slasher himself has his own mask that he carved himself. It has a very feel of The Burning, where he comes back for revenge.
Yes.
Yeah, and
from being burnt.
The poster, or like the stand-up, the cardboard stand-up, very much had The Burning, like the...
Yeah, the look of it.
The shears, yeah.
That was a fun movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really glad you guys liked it. Awesome. And it passed. It passed the mustard for the slasher summer camp.
Yeah.
You know, for that one... whenever I brought up George Costanza in it, or that character, because I didn't want to get dinged by bots for putting the Seinfeld bass line in it.
Yeah.
I like reversed it, and then I messed with the timing of it. But I played that whenever I mentioned it in that episode.
I thought I heard that. I do remember that now.
Well, you know what? I don't want to be sitting in front of a microphone on this hard chair anymore.
Can't say I blame you. It makes my butt hurt just looking at the chair.
Oh my God, I have no butt. So it's extra hard. It's just
same. That's why I'm glad I got the padding place to sit.
I'm just grinding hips on this. What is this?
Except for Brennan, we're all old men here. We need to call it quits.
It's like a 70s fiberglass chair I'm on.
I mean, it looks cool. The
It
design.
is. It's a cool chair, but man, not for my butt. So
Not ergonomic.
let's wrap this up. And speaking of butt,
segueing to Cort after talking about ass.
no, speaking of butt, don't be a butt and get one of my shirts from TeePublic, which is totally high quality.
No, I
print on demand merchandise.
I literally wore that thing so much that I wore it out. It was not the t-shirt's fault. It fell apart because of me. I really did like that summer slasher camp. And I did get, like I talked about, the Dog Man You Can Sing Out of a Cave one. I really enjoyed. We talked about that on my show whenever we covered some kaiju films. I really like that shirt a lot. And then I got one that was sort of a astronaut turning into a thing from space I picked up too.
Oh, you're the one who ordered that, because I could see it whenever stuff's ordered, and I was like, whoa, somebody ordered the astronaut one.
Yeah, that was me. And I was going to wear that up here, but then my wife convinced me that I don't need to be that guy. So, but I'm going to tell you that I bought it, and I
that's cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
See? One happy customer right here.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can attest that the shirts are of high quality. I literally just wore my summer slasher camp out, and now I need to get another one.
Also, Dog Man You Have to Sing Out of a Cave is a direct quote from Brennan. He came up with that. And I laughed so hard I made it a shirt.
It's the most disrespectful way of describing him that is also the most accurate all at once.
Well, that's what makes it so disrespectful.
Right.
But it's a funny picture of him where he's just, King Caesar's just shrugging like, I guess. It's me.
I have in the past besmirched Mothra on my show for being a lazy kaiju whenever we covered an early Godzilla film with Ebra, because there's a lot of worshipping of Mothra without her showing up to save the day.
Yeah.
At the end of Ebra. So we've all said our things that we regret.
Yes, and absolutely. Speaking of Cinema Psyops, your show, everyone, there is such a massive catalog of episodes. Go check that show out. You want to find out some obscure movies? Like, just sometimes where I can't even begin. Like, everything's coming at me all at once right now, of like all the years of just like, they did this like 5 episode series and like
over 520 episodes, because we did 10 years straight of weekly releases, at least one movie an episode. And in some episodes we used to do in the very start 2 movies per show.
Yeah, it's absolutely massive. You guys are hilarious.
Oh, thank you. You don't have to say that just because I'm sitting in the room.
No, that's why I've kept listening to the show. You and your co-host Matt, excellent just banter between you two. Like, you guys are great.
What's funny is we're actually like that with each other when we're off mic, but when we're off mic and there's other people in the room, all we do is annoy them.
Yeah, we know that feeling.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So with that, thank you to our listeners.
That's you guys.
Yeah, and I'm one of you.
Yeah, and thank you to our fellow podcasters. Also,
I am one of them.
Yeah, so, thanks for listening. Hang in there, dongles.
Bye, dongles.
Bye, everybody.
Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth!
Seems like you'd be a great host, and it's really nice of you to mount his head on the wall in your house after you killed him.